This is Chapter 1 on page 1, Getting Started with Microsoft Project. As a project manager, you need to create and manage many documents or artifacts to communicate the project's purpose and status. A key component of this responsibility is the project plan, which incorporates the tasks, resources, and scheduling of a project. Not only should the project plan be used in the initial phases of a project, but also updating a plan as the project progresses enables you to effectively manage the project and communicate status to all involved parties. Microsoft Project is a powerful tool for planning and managing projects. To provide you with the big picture, this lesson starts with a brief review of basic project management concepts that will be useful as you start using Project. The remainder of the lesson is presented as if Microsoft Project had just been installed on your computer and you are running it for the first time. It will cover the essentials you need to navigate the program. In later lessons, you will add to this framework. In this lesson, you will identify basic project management concepts and navigate the Microsoft Project desktop environment. So this first section of Chapter 1 is we're just going to read through some key terms that we'll need to know. So we won't actually be working in the project application in this first section. So topic A on page 2 is identifying project management concepts. You want to plan and implement projects that will positively affect your organization. A thorough knowledge of projects and project management is required to efficiently manage your projects. In this topic, you will identify basic concepts and terminology of project management. Business organizations around the world are using project management as a competitive advantage to achieve corporate strategic objectives. By identifying the main elements involved in project management practices, you can enhance the chances of success over a wide range of projects across application areas and industries. A project is a temporary work endeavor that creates a unique product, service, or result. It has a clearly defined start and finish. The end of a project is reached when its objectives are met. The need for the project no longer exists, or it is determined that the objectives cannot be met. Projects require resources to perform project activities and lend themselves to a teamwork structure because they draw from a range of disciplines to complete the work. Also, projects vary widely in terms of budget, team size, duration, expected outcomes, and industries. Some projects contain sub-projects, but not all do. A project is considered to be successful when the specified objectives are met within the specified duration and budget and with the required quality. A program is a group of related projects that have a common objective. It offers additional control over constituent projects and delivers benefits that the organization can use to meet its goals. A project is managed by a project manager, and individual projects are managed by project managers who work for the program manager. However, all projects need not always be a part of programs. Projects that do not have a common objective but still are managed in a group are generally known as multiple projects. A portfolio is a collection of projects, programs, and operational work to achieve the strategic business objectives of an organization. The projects in a portfolio may or may not be interdependent, but they are grouped to give management a broader view of the organization's projects and their adherence to organizational objectives. For a project to be part of a portfolio, its attributes such as cost, resource requirements, timelines, strategic goals, and benefits should be in line with other projects in the portfolio. Portfolios are generally managed by a senior manager or senior management teams. Project management is the planned effort for executing and monitoring a project to accomplish its defined goals and objectives. Managing projects involves scheduling, identifying requirements, establishing objectives, balancing quality, scope, time, and cost, and addressing the concerns and expectations of stakeholders. Project management is different from the management of routine, ongoing work initiatives called operations. Projects generally involve temporary initiatives, unique circumstances, and cross-functional teams. Projects may involve new or specially formed teams taking on new tasks and attempting unfamiliar skills, processes, or work efforts. Operations, on the other hand, deal with the ongoing day-to-day production of goods and services or usual business practices. Operations management includes such disciplines as human resources, purchasing, sales, and maintenance. Project management continues to evolve as practices and processes used in different organizations adapt and change with the times. Traditional project management follows a waterfall approach that involves rigorous upfront planning before the project work begins. For some projects, the requirements are less defined or unknown at the beginning. Therefore, project management approaches have become adaptive or iterative to enable project teams to make adjustments to their project work as requirements are known. The project life cycle. Projects are broken down into manageable, sequential phases of work. A project phase is a group of related project activities that result in the completion of a major deliverable. The project life cycle is the combination of the 5 project phases. So the 5 project phases, we have initiating, planning, executing, monitoring and controlling, and then closing. Initiating defines the project's objectives and goal. A project charter is created. The planning phase, you create detailed project plans that include the scope, time, cost, and other details. The executing phase, you perform the tasks to carry out the project. The monitoring and controlling phase, you track the project's progress and take corrective action when necessary to keep the project on track. And then lastly is the closing phase. You obtain acceptance of the project's products, services, or end results by those who authorize the project to bring the project to an orderly conclusion. The project life cycle phases relate to one another in the following way. Planning and executing are often iterative. As the project plan is executed, more planning is frequently required. Monitoring and controlling interfaces with and affects the other 4 phases. Project constraints are anything that inhibits or dictates the actions of the project team. Constraints are limitations that concern scope, time, cost, and ultimately quality. These factors are interrelated and exist in a state of equilibrium. As the project progresses, if one of these factors is altered, the other factors should be balanced to accommodate the change. These changes can affect the quality of the product or service. For example, if the project schedule is shortened due to a change in stakeholder requirements, the cost and/or the scope will be affected. The cost can increase because more resources are needed to meet the shortened schedule, or the scope can decrease so all of the work can be finished per the revised schedule. In either of these situations, the quality, or what the people expect from the project, will change. This reprioritization of constraints can occur at any time during the project, and in large or complex projects, it can occur several times. Microsoft Project is intended to help project managers deal with changing project constraints. Project managers must be constantly on guard against scope creep, and this is the uncontrolled expansion of a project scope. A multitude of seemingly minor scope changes can add up to major time delays and cost overruns. And then lastly, we have project roles. Projects require a group of people with different roles and responsibilities to communicate and work together. The cohesiveness of this group can affect the project's successful completion. We have the project sponsor. This is the person in your organization who authorizes, supports, and approves the project. Usually, the project sponsor is a member of senior management. Next, we have the project manager. This is the primary person directing the project's flow and communication between project participants. In a traditional project, the project manager is responsible for all aspects of the project: planning, watching for cost overruns, and handling disputes. Next, we have the Project Management Office, or PMO. This is a centralized, ongoing administrative unit or department within an organization that provides oversight, support, tools, and helpful methodologies to project managers. Next, a project stakeholder. This is anyone who is actively involved in the project or has an interest in its outcome. Stakeholders can be inside your organization or outside of it. For example, if the project is to drill a hydraulic fracturing well, internal stakeholders might include geologists, construction workers, and drill operators. External stakeholders might include landowners, environmental groups, and government regulators. And lastly, we have team members. This is anyone who is responsible for performing or approving the work to complete the project. This includes the people who work on the tasks, such as engineers or operators, and may also include resource managers, such as a foreman or a director. All right, your next video will be activity 1.1 on page 5.